Hello guys, I hope you're all well and welcome back to another video in our European tour series. Before we get into the video, I just want to make a bit of a request. We're travelling around Europe in winter time and it is fairly quiet. A lot of the campsites are shut and there isn't very many people around, mainly because of the weather. I think you might be able to hear the pitter patter of some raindrops. But we haven't seen many van conversions or many other van lifers. We've seen quite a few motorhomes, but not many people living in vans. So I want to put out a bit of a request. You guys that are watching the channel and following us, are you out in Europe at the moment? Or do you live in Europe? Have you done a van conversion or are you living and touring in your van? Please leave me a comment down below in this video and let me know if you're currently holidaying in Europe, where you're located, or if you live in Europe and have done a van conversion yourself, because I think what we'll do, it'll be really great to meet some of you guys. I know it's not going to be possible to meet everybody, but that may sway where we go in the future on this trip, depending on where everybody is currently and where you're located. So please do let us know that in the comment section below. As well as that, I'd also like to hear your comments on what you'd like to see in these videos. If there's something about van life that you're interested in that you'd like me to cover, whether it be technical or something to do with living in the van, or whether it be to do with the locations that we've visited. If there's something that you want to know, please let me know in the comments and I'll see if I can cover that in a future video. Okay, let's get back to the trip. Hello guys and welcome back to the next leg of our European tour. When we left you in the last video, we just made it down to the Mediterranean Sea and we were just west of Montpellier. We had all of that issue with the inverter going bang and us having to try and to source another one from that Amazon locker in Montpellier. But then after we got through all of that, we made our way further east onto the town of Arles. So lots of you may be wondering how to get your laundry done while you're doing van life and living in the van. Well, we just search for self-service laundry on Google Maps and it usually brings up all of the laundries in the area. Now this is a really good one. We've been to one of these before. This is the Speed Queen. We're in a little town. It's a Sunday, so the parking's free, which is good. And these places are just super clean. I mean, look at, it's just beautiful in here. Machines are all clean, it's lovely conditions. And it's not very expensive. You probably get a complete week's worth of washing done for under €10, including the washing and the drying. While we was in the laundrette just killing some time, Lou was scanning Google Maps for some points of interest within the town and noticed only about 800 or 900 metres away there was a huge great big Roman amphitheater, so he went and checked it out. There's a huge Roman amphitheater here, still used to the present day for various festivals and I believe some bullfighting. Built in the 1st century AD, so close to 2,000 years old. So we're right in the centre of the amphitheatre. They've obviously had to build this stage in here. I guess a lot of these original steps would have worn away. They're still using the theatre today for various festivals. Oh, it's fascinating to look at these old amphitheatres, considering how long ago they were built and the technology that they would have had in those days. And these are just massive structures. They must have taken absolutely thousands and thousands of man hours to build. We're right in the depth of the amphitheater now. You can just imagine back in the day the old Roman gladiators in here. Ooh, there's a gladiator. I think because I originally trained to be an architect, I find looking at these ancient buildings just fascinating, and as an engineer I can appreciate what it must have taken to build these that many years ago. So we're leaving Arles and heading a little bit north to the town of Avignon. Now Avignon is very famous for a particular bridge, but as soon as we jump back into the Sprinter we notice a little problem. So I noticed just then that when I press the brake pedal the little light comes on, which means I've probably got a rear brake light bulb out, so we'll just have to go and check that. Otherwise you can guarantee the old gendarmes are going to pull me over if they see a brake light missing. So Lou stood out the back while I pushed the brake pedal and established that it's the driver's side that's out. So the good thing about Sprinters is there's only 3 torque screws, 1, 2, 3 down there, and that releases this rear light cluster. The only thing is I didn't bring my bit set for my drills or screwdrivers, so I haven't got any torque bits, so I'm gonna have to nip across to the supermarket and see if we can buy some torque bits. Okay, so we've got a nice new shiny torque bit set. I reckon these are T25, so let's have a look. So that's the lens cover taken off, and you can see on the back there the top one's a brake light. P21 is the bulb that we need. Oh yeah, look at that, look. You can see how black that is inside there. That's definitely blown. New set of bulbs purchased just from the auto parts across the road there. Enough for about €3. Put the new bulb in. Just got to put the cover back on now. That's it. Rear light cluster all screwed back in place. Should be all good, just got to give it a test. It's really worth picking these things up as quick as you can. You know, if you see a light on the dash and it's a simple fix like these rear lights here, you know, it's a couple of euros for a new bulb. Literally took me 10 minutes to swap it out, and it's just going to stop you getting pulled over on the side of the road and possibly having to deal with the foreign police and maybe a fine. So today's a day for diving off the beaten track a little bit and going on a bit of an adventure. So we saw this sign for a Roman aqueduct. Drove off the main road and here we are. Remains of an old aqueduct. Right out in the countryside. I should imagine this would have gone for miles and miles. See if we can get up on top of it. So you can sort of make out the remains of the channel there. It was obviously lined with some kind of cement mixture to keep it waterproof. So I'm up standing on what would have been the bed of the aqueduct, and now you can actually see it extends for quite a way in the distance there. There's Lou just walking down the other end of it, but you can see here the line that I'm standing in, unless there was 2 here running side by side, because the one that I'm standing on finishes. The other option is it could have done a left and a right there to join up with that one. Amazing that this has been here for a couple of 1,000 years. So here I am, sur le pont d'Avignon. That's the River Rhone, and we're on the bridge, the famous bridge. There's a very famous French song sung about this bridge in Avignon, and it dates back to the 15th century, I think, and it's about a dance that was performed on the bridge. But the history books are saying the dance was performed underneath the bridge. So sur le pont, which means on the bridge, is not strictly true. But there you go, here we are. And the little building built on one of the piers is St Nicholas Chapel, and I think that dates back to about the 14th century. Well, what good is a bridge that doesn't reach the other side of the river? But in the 15th century they had what was known as the Little Ice Age, and the huge amounts of water that came down the Rhone here regularly used to wash some of the bridge piers away. They regularly used to reconstruct it. And this part of the river bends this way, so there's fast flowing water here, so this used to wash most of the bridge away. So there we go. I think you can see we've seen some fantastic places already, and we've only just scratched the surface on this trip. But stay tuned for the next video, because we really do put the van through its paces. We take it up a mile in altitude, up to a ski resort. There's snow all around us, and we camp there for the night. So we test the heating and the insulation properly on that trip. And then following that, we dive back down to the Riviera and we catch the bright lights of Monaco. It's absolutely stunning, so you won't want to miss that. So make sure that you're subscribed and hit the little bell notification. Thanks very much for watching. Cheers. And one of the best things about having the inverter fixed is we've got the TV and the DVD back working, and it's movie night. We've got movie snacks, popcorn and Marvel films. Yay! Lou loves those.